lived in London 30 years. I've never known it so dangerous. I have lost count of the times I see flowers tied to lampposts. I have to tell my young children about knife crime, about the terror of living in the city. People are afraid to live in London. People aren't going out. The economy is suffering. Sadiq Khan, the London mayor, is the de facto police and crime commissioner of the Metropolitan Police. Doesn't seem to do anything about it. Mark Rowley himself seems more bothered about, I don't know, keeping pro-Palestine protesters happy than actually stamping down on crime. Where does the buck stop?
Well, the buck stops with the Prime Minister and the buck stops with the head of the Met, and it has to do. Whoever Prime Minister, whoever the head of the Met is. That's the system. The head of the Met needs to deliver, and they've got the responsibility. I'm looking for consistency, including consistency across the Met. In my world, and plenty of discussions with the Met, including Mr. Rowley, plenty of discussions with government, consistency.
Well,
it is consistency.
Consistent rising knife crime, and consistently rising violence.
And you mentioned the anti-Jewish sentiment, protests, and so on. It's hard to get an angle on that, on what is needed, when different things are happening in different parts of London. That consistency is crucial. One of the things we've lost, I think, the College of Policing was meant to be there to give consistency, not just in London, but across the country. It's weaker than it was, much weaker, and it needs to be pulled together. Wherever you are in the country, you should expect the same service from the police, and all of us here ought to know what that service should be. And then if it's not happening, you can say, why not? Here's what you should be doing. Part of the problem is we can't do that, because the police are saying, well, we do this, we don't do that. We don't have the resource for this. They need more money and they need consistency.
I'd say, Sir John, it's something more than that. Where I live, I see Santa more often than I see police officers walking around the streets. You just don't see any coppers anymore. You see them driving past with their sirens blowing. You don't see a bobby on the beat. They're almost an endangered species.
Well, I think Mayor Khan needs to get a grip on it, because the mayor, since Boris Johnson wrestled powers away from the Home Secretary, has very considerable powers of leadership and responsibilities. And I think the electors of the current mayor feel very let down, because this is one of the big things the mayor could really do. Make sure there are enough police and that they have the proper resources to back them up, but also guide them on the priorities, because you've listed some of the key priorities. I, as an occasional resident in London, you as a permanent resident in London, we want to know that the streets are as safe as they can be.
Well, they're not.
And that if they're not, that is the priority. Surely the safety of people must come before everything else.